become death, the destroyer of worlds.
عملية عسكرية نوعية وناجحة، عملية إعصار اليمن استهدفت من خلالها مطاري دبي وأبو ظبي ومصفاة النفط في المسطح في أبو ظبي وعددا من المواقع والمنشآت الإماراتية الهامة والحساسة.
Well, it's now official. The Wahhabi Arabs of the Persian Gulf have become friends and allies of the State of Israel. Ties are warming up. Israelis are flocking to the United Arab Emirates, and very soon this year, Saudi Arabia will open its borders to the Israelis. Visa free, of course, because it's only Muslims who apply for visas, not Israelis. With all this friendship and extension of brotherhood from these so-called lands of Tawheed, can Israel protect their bacon? That's the question. You see folks, America is engaged with China and Russia, and Israel is trying to play a bigger role in West Asia. But can the apartheid entity live up to its ambitions? Or will it fool the Arabs? After Prime Minister Naftali Bennett's visit last month to the United Arab Emirates, Israel's President Isaac Herzog's plane flew across Saudi Arabia over Holy Saudi Arabia to meet with the Crown Prince Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed.
Discussion lasted some 2 hours, with the president's office describing them as warm and cordial.
The visit, which the Israeli president called historic, comes a few days after the United Arab Emirates was subjected to ballistic missile and drone strikes originating from the Yemeni resistance forces. Ground and air defense systems failed to intercept them, enabling them to achieve some of their objectives by disrupting air traffic at Dubai and Abu Dhabi airports and setting fuel tanks ablaze at one of the state oil corporation. The honoured Israeli guest, President Herzog, made a point of condemning the Houthi missile attacks against the UAE, denouncing it as a violation of the United Arab Emirates' sovereignty by the Houthi movement. And Israel's president also affirmed Israel's eagerness to help the United Arab Emirates meet its security requirements. We don't know what protection the Israeli apartheid entity could offer the United Arab Emirates that would succeed where the United States, the biggest superpower on this planet, has failed. The Israeli army is not the greatest army on the planet. It's not invincible. Let's not forget, these diaper-wearing soldiers have been defeated and humiliated several times since the year 2000. We saw the Israeli offense force run out of South Lebanon to cut its losses. It was beaten again in July 2006 on the war in Lebanon, and a third time last year on the war in Gaza, when the ex-Prime Minister Netanyahu begged President Joe Biden to intercede with the Egyptian government and secure a halt to hostilities on the 11th day. The Israelis peddle delusions to the United Arab Emirates and all of the Arab countries that have signed peace accords with them. That's because it's easy to do so. These oil-rich Arab states have done nothing with their wealth apart from supporting terrorists abroad and spreading fake Islam, also known as Al-Sahwa al-Islamiyya. They've got a lot of money, and all Israel wants to do is cash in.
They said, if you want even better relations with the United States, then make peace with Israel. So the change in American policy was critical. I have to say that without it, you could bake the cake, but you can't finish it. You can't put the topping on it without this crucial change.
Netanyahu added, while Israel and these Sunni Arab nations face a common enemy, he's optimistic about the future.
I believe that if we continue to move in this direction, and if we don't fall into yesterday's traps and the failed policies of the past, our grandchildren will look back at this moment and say that peace of Abraham brought the sons of Abraham together. Peace of Abraham brought the sons of Abraham together. Peace of Abraham brought the sons of Abraham together. Peace of Abraham brought the sons of Abraham together. Peace of Abraham brought the sons of Abraham together.
The Israeli government is quite careful. They turned down a deal to supply the United Arab Emirates with $3.5 billion worth of arms, including air defense systems, for fear that their secret technology would be leaked to Iran and the Houthis. The United Arab Emirates then turned to to South Korea for alternatives. This refusal tells us two things. Firstly, that the United Arab Emirates Israeli ally and protector doesn't trust them at all to safeguard these systems and their secrets, and it also doesn't rule out the possibility of a third party invading and occupying the country and acquiring those weapons. I also personally think Israel will never get involved directly or openly in the war in Yemen, because it knows for a fact that if it provides the United Arab Emirates with military or security support, it can expect retaliatory Houthi missile strikes against it, or its shipping in the Red Sea. Yemen is about the same distance from Eilat as it is from Abu Dhabi. Just saying. The United Arab Emirates has committed massive mistakes. Firstly, joining the horrible, disgusting and illegal war on Yemen and signing the Abraham Accord and speeding into normalization with the illegal apartheid entity Israel. The war in Yemen has caused the United Arab Emirates to suffer heavy losses financially and in terms of morale. It's also created an existential threat to its security and stability, especially considering Israel's successive defeats, the United States' impending drawback from West Asia after its humiliating exit from Afghanistan. All this doesn't make things look good for these Arab monarchies. Talks are happening right now between Iran and world powers. Nobody knows the outcome, but these Arabs of the Persian Gulf are possibly thinking Iran will be defanged. But I don't think so. We can't preempt the outcome of the Vienna talks, and I don't have a crystal ball to tell you the future. But what I can say is the Iranians will have demands, and I think one of them would be that the United States to recognize the Houthis as a legitimate organization which is credible and responsible enough to govern Yemen. After all, it's a likely demand as Biden wants the war in Yemen to end, not because he cares, only because Uncle Sam has a newfound interest, and that's against Russia and China. If Biden does decide to recognize the Houthis as a legitimate political organization, this might cause a lot of problems for these Wahhabi monarchies in the Persian Gulf. They'll forever cling on to Israel, and Israel will only just use them as a cash point, just like Donald Trump did with Saudi Arabia. Over and out.
We protect Saudi Arabia. Would you say they're rich? And I love the king, King Solomon, but I said, King, we're protecting you. You might not be there for 2 weeks without us. You have to pay for your military. You have to pay. And Japan is going to also contribute. You know, Japan, we protect Japan. They pay us a small percentage. We protect South Korea. They pay us. And by the way, we're doing great on North Korea, but South Korea, they got to reimburse us. They got to reimburse us.